All right, hello. My name is Robert Plocheck, and we're here today to do an informational interview around benefits in the workplace. You have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. For the way the interview is going to go, I've prepared several questions that we'll go through. You can answer the questions, and then if I have any further follow-up information, I'll ask those, and then we'll wrap it up near the end. So are you ready to get started?
Yep.
Okay. So what's your general background in benefits and the benefits portion of human resources?
I have worked in benefits, specifically in the HR group, probably 17, 18 years. For the last 12 years, I've been in a senior leadership role in benefits, focusing on the design and delivery of the benefit structure and how it impacts other functional areas of HR.
Okay. So you've got some time in the service and some time in the leadership, I see. Have you spent any time as far as like customer service, that part of it?
No, I've done benefits delivery. Most of my work in benefits has been with the outsourced relationships for our vendors. And so there's vendor management is probably a crucial role related to service.
And then you talked a little bit about spending time in leadership or the management side of it. Can you elaborate a little further on that?
So on the director of benefits side, I've had both your traditional health and welfare benefits, your retirement plans, your executive plans. And in that leadership role, through mergers and acquisitions, we've had to do a rewrite or a build out of a benefit structure. We've taken different benefit cultures and merged them together. All of those have been with our business partners out in our other functional areas of the business.
You ever had to fire anybody?
Yes, I have.
It's just kind of like a little icebreaker here in the
Yes,
middle.
I have.
Okay.
More than once, unfortunately.
If you could obtain a different position than you held in the past, is there any certain position within the HR group or in the benefits world that you would try to go towards?
I think prior to me going to this period of non-working, I did the intent was that I would be groomed and had been preparing for a HR leadership role. I have managed other functional areas of HR besides benefits, but always keeping benefits underneath my responsibility. So the intent would be to go to a broader HR leadership role, which would include benefits, Comm, recruiting, etc.
Okay. Sounds good. And what are all the different types of benefits in the HR world? What are we talking about when we say benefits? What all is that?
Well, the different employees think of those differently. Some think benefits are entitlements, but they are not. Traditional benefits include your health and welfare plans, so your insurance, whether you're insured or self-insured, your medical, dental, vision, your life insurance plans. On the health and welfare side, sometimes EAP gets pulled into that. Sometimes work-life benefits, long-term care can be under the scope of benefits. Leave management, which would include your salary continuation, short-term disability plans. The other spin of that of benefits would be your retirement plans. So that would include your traditional defined benefit plans, your defined contribution or 401k plans. The other thing sometimes gets put into benefits is your stock purchase plans or your equity plans, broad-based stock plans, etc. So most of those would cover the spectrum that I've either touched or had responsibility for over the last 15 years.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the different structures there usually is in the benefit world, whether it's in the department or how the benefits are actually structured.
In benefits, a lot of that depends on the industry that you are in. So if you come from a traditional utility, You still see the formal defined benefit pension plans. Those have been carried over, and those have been slower to be eliminated. Same thing with retiree medical. Retiree medical is another one that is very industry specific. If you go to retail industries like your Target or Walmart, etc., most of those retiree medical or defined benefit plans do not exist. Some of that's the nature of the workforce because you have high turnover in your retail industries, so the benefits are structured to accommodate that kind of high turnover. Across the country, you also see demographics and regional benefits. So, for example, where you have places in Texas and that are high metropolitan areas, you see spouses being not allowed to be on the benefits because you have dual working parents. When you get up into the Northeast, more of the rural areas of Pennsylvania, Ohio, you don't see that type of a medical plan structure. The spouses are allowed to be on the benefits. Again, just a lot of that's regional. So region, I think, plays a big role in the benefits at various companies, and then, of course, the industry that they're in.
All right, that's great. And actually, my next question is around which industries have the strongest benefits, and which are a little weaker. And I think you answered that just now by the different demographics around the country and the different types of business, whether it's manufacturing or whether it's in the retail type environment. Okay, so I guess a question around what's the major differences between benefits that we know of now and around 10, 15 years ago?
The biggest key is going to be around your defined benefit pension plan. So where companies took a very parental approach and they basically set aside monies, company funds on behalf of the employees. What happens with now is that you see most of that being giving the money to the employees and letting them invest it themselves and be responsible for it and take it with them. So there's not an intent to hold people at companies. There's not the intent to have the 30-year employee. Companies, it's cheaper for them to have turnover when it comes to benefits. So there's big difference. That's probably the biggest difference is the retirement plans.
So I guess that's good for me since I'm already at like 23 or 24 years. I don't have to worry about starting over with companies not wanting me to be there 30 years. Okay, so I'm going to combine these two next questions. It's around government's involvement in the benefits world and the private sector. Do you have anything you can add about that?
Yeah, the biggest thing, government takes a very active role in benefits, especially when you're talking about the money and the funded trust. So they have lots of compliance around the trust, the investments. Since we have moved to a world where employees are responsible for their own investments, the disclosures that are required to make sure people understand their fees and their investments are very robust. It's very heavy in administrative work. The other thing is you always have government legislation that comes out of lawsuits, whether that be good or bad. It's very highly legislated. All the benefit plans are very highly legislated. And again, some of the good legislation, I think, comes out of the lawsuits. Some of the not so good legislation comes out of the lawsuits.
Okay. In your opinion, what are companies looking for new professionals or specialists that are coming out of schools trying to enter that field?
I think people that are heavy with finance or accounting degrees, especially because so much of the skill set is needed to understand the investment side on the retirement side. On the other side, I would say communications. Those that have strong communication skills. Many of the people that I have converted in my own group into the benefits world are people that came out of communications because, again, you have to kind of be a people person to deal with employee benefits and to manage vendors, and so that's another big skill.
Okay. So just looking into your crystal ball, what do you think's next on the horizon? What's the next cutting edge breakthrough that you'll see in the benefits world?
I think that depends on who's in office next, because I do think that legislation plays a key role. Healthcare reform was huge. It had a huge impact on companies. I think you are going to see companies continue to get out of the benefits world as that becomes more of a less incentive for them to keep benefits. I'm not sure that's a good thing, because that does put the onus for providing health and welfare plans to the government to do that, and they've proven they don't always do that well. So that's going to be the big challenge, will be what comes out of the next set of congressional leaders and presidential leader.
Good deal. Good perspective. And just wrapping this up, we're kind of time limited here, but is there anything that you'd like to add or clarify on any of the questions I asked, or maybe something I didn't ask that you want to add to it?
No, I don't think so. I think that from a benefits perspective, that employees will value that as much as they value compensation, and some companies don't look at that together, and they should, because benefits are very expensive for companies to maintain, and so they should look at that as part of their compensation package.
All right. Well, I sure appreciate all the information. You've taught me a whole lot about this subject, and thank you.